Crime doesn't start between 9 and 5. We're working 24 hours a day sometimes, and people in our communities expect us to do that as well. My name's Lorraine Wright. I'm the current zone manager of the Western Zone. 15 years I've been with the Legal Service. It's a funny story, that one. I came into the Western Aboriginal Legal Service to relieve for 2 weeks. It's the longest 2 weeks I've ever really had work, but anyway, now it's 15 years, so yeah, and it has been a challenge, and it's in an arena where you're looking at trying to make a change for people who are disadvantaged in the criminal justice, coming into contact with the criminal justice system, and explaining what the criminal justice system is, and what the processes are. And that can be very daunting to the Aboriginal communities that we serve. Yeah, something happened to me within that first week. That I joined the legal service. Sort of gets into your blood and you just can't shake anything. I think that's something that I've sort of learned over the years too, that it's that family orientated, the organisation itself. It's like we're one big family and we're all moving to, seek good outcomes for our clients, and I think that's one of the things that I sort of say to people. It sort of got into my bloodstream and it stayed there, so yeah, and I'm still here. Yeah. Noel Gillen, who was the coordinator at the time, Noel was very staunch in the way that he led the Aboriginal Legal Service out in the West. Again, with a lot of other staunch people as well, and that's right throughout the West. They stood up and believed in what they believed in, justice, I guess, for Aboriginal people, and they wanted to make a change and make a difference in the lives of Aboriginal people that were coming against the criminal justice system. And plus, you had board of directors too from all different communities. They were elected from the community to a board, and they were representation from all over the West, and they used to meet regular to look at the issues, the funding, the policies, what's happening in the region. When I first came in, it was around about the time that we also set up the Coalition of Aboriginal Legal Services, and that consists of the 6 legal services that came together and met on a regular basis too, and they talked about the issues impacting on Aboriginal people, throughout the state. We were working together back then, and in New South Wales, the transition into the one legal service was easier because we all worked together. They used to hold big AGMs, whether it was at Wilcannia or Brewarrina, or mainly the ones that I used to attend was in Wilcannia, and they were AGMs, of course, and people were elected from communities that's all throughout the West, and they went up onto the board and then took up all those issues in relation to Aboriginal people coming into contact with the criminal justice system. Okay, back in those days we didn't have the resources that we have today. I can remember I didn't have a motor vehicle. I had to go on a bus if I wanted to go to visit the other officers. Well, the resources were scarce. funding was limited, and we're out there delivering a service, a good quality service on very limited money, and we're doing a good job at it as well, you know. About 54% of the state, yeah, so it's a big area. Those days you had to get in and do 110%, you know, with the resources of about 50%, you know, so people were putting in a lot more effort to get the job done as well. So it was a challenge to everybody, but everyone got through it, and the solicitors and the lawyers and the field officers and admin that we had, it was just like, it was the work, we knew the work had to be done. We all got in and done it. We had good quality people, you know. Yes, I can remember meeting with ATSIC to let them know that what we were being paid was nowhere, we were never on par with any other legal firm around the town, legal aid especially. Our solicitors were, you know, weren't on par with the solicitors at legal aid, and they were churning out a lot more work. They were doing a lot of work and doing quality work, and that was one thing that we looked at to try and get the governments to have a look at, the government at the time, to look at, I guess, equity, you know, with the salaries, and not only the salaries but resources too, you know, to go out there in the community to deliver the service that we wanted on the ground, yeah. And that had changed. I now drive a car to work, yeah, and to, you know, to other communities and that, yeah. Yeah, no, there were cars there, but they were there to use, you know, for the courts, and that's understandably too. But there wasn't as many as what we got now. We had to, some solicitors did go to court to Broken Hill on a bus, and, you know, boxes of files with them. What, you know, the relationship between the solicitors, the admin, the administration and field officers, they were a team. They were everybody. It was like a big family out at the West, and people will tell you that themselves. You know, like the stories that you hear, and I'm so honoured to be part of that family, because I think there was a lot of staunch people that came out back in those days, and I admire every one of their, you know, what they stood up for and what they fought for. You know, it's a credit to them. Crime doesn't start between 9 and 5. We're working 24 hours a day sometimes, you know, and people in our communities expect us to do that as well, you know, to ensure that, you know, if somebody gets locked up at night, you know, now we've got our custody notification scheme, which is, anyone gets locked up, they've got a number now. The police must call that number to let them, and there are big changes, you know, big things that have happened, which is a benefit to our communities. Yeah.